Knuckles Comic Issue 31. In the command center of Haven, Saber's dealing with all their monitors going offline. Oh no, now they can't spy on people. Saber says that the sensors are off the dial, so they need to establish whether the problem is internal or external in origin. They realize that it must be external. And Locke says that for anyone to disrupt their transmissions, it would require extremely advanced technology. They dismiss the possibility that fake Tober Rex did it because if they were under attack by Dark Legion, they'd know by now. And we cut to Knuckles' childhood bully being electrocuted by what I thought at first was a normal gun, proving that it really should have been designed like a ray gun by the artists instead. But after that karma was dealt, the human tries to aim at Knuckles, thinking that he's evil or something, I guess. And then Knuckles sees a robot of the humans that picks up Monk easily. So he's a human scientist engineer as well as a hunter guy. The human gets Knuckles to follow along when I thought he was going to try to kill him, so that was stupid of him. And Locke and Archimedes go to help Knuckles in a panic for not knowing where he is. It turns out that the human has an airship at the home, and surprisingly, the human knows who Eggman is. It doesn't seem to like him. Knuckles is horrified at seeing his collection of the mounted heads of innocent Mobians on his wall. It's pretty stunning this is in a Sonic comic. And then the human somehow insists that he's not a monster because he enjoys the challenge of the hunt, when he could just shoot Knuckles right then and there. How does enjoying challenge make you a good person? The human says that he thinks he could probably take Knuckles in a physical challenge despite talking to a powerful Guardian and a Mobian, but he'd prefer a contest of strategy. I like that Knuckles doesn't care about Monk and wouldn't do anything to help him, like saying that's no skin off my nose. It's good to see him pragmatic like that. After he threatens to hurt Julie Sue in front of Knuckles, we see that someone has indeed tampered with the Brotherhood's equipment. Someone who knows enough about the Guardians that he knew exactly what he was doing. Knuckles is told to put some sort of collar on, as I wonder why he couldn't have just beat the human senseless, interrupting him in the middle of talking, gun or not, and avoided this entire situation. And he's told about lasers descending from the ceiling as a threat. Knuckles asks what makes him think that him and Monk are going to go along with the program once they're outside. For some reason, the human doesn't answer him properly when it could have just said the colors blow up, or as it turns out it does, something like that, only totally unharmful, as it's made clear that Hunter wanted them to work together for a better challenge for him to hunt him down. Finally, the second story starts, which has SPO kidnapped by a roboticized Valdez. Or maybe it's Valday, but whatever. Valdez says he feels great being roboticized, and that he felt betrayed at his comrades abandoning him after all they've been through together. Yeah, you mean a few pointless training exercises and one mission where he didn't even do anything? I was expecting him to be the most competent of them all because he's the only one with a special power. A special power of turning invisible, but no. And even now, he's a robot, but he doesn't ever turn invisible as a robot. So much for that. Valdez's roboticization actually saved his life from his injuries, causing him to view Eggman as a kindly doctor, even though he'll tell him to do evil plans. But this is really interesting. Like, actions actually have consequences. I thought Valdez would understand. Eggman says, as expected, that a mindless drone can't accomplish much, so he'll merely slightly reprogram him. But if Valdez was aware of this reprogramming, okay, well I guess the reprogramming also made it impossible for him to question or be offended at this reprogramming to lose trust in him. Eggman told him that something called the Chaos Emerald could save the entire planet from the evil King Acorn, and a certain group of echidnas want to use the emerald to take over the world. First, how the hell does anyone in Mobius not know what a Chaos Emerald was, let alone the Master Emerald? Second, okay, I'll cut him some slack on buying that King Acorn is evil and the echidnas are because he was both abandoned and reprogrammed. Plus, when he said a certain group of echidnas, I guess technically that's true if he means the Dark Legion. I'm sure they would want to do that. SPO sadly expresses doubt that he's even the real Valdez, despite Valdez clearly having his memories. As I cringe at seeing the awful Sad AM artistic choice, where instead of his eyes looking sad normally, his eyeballs literally morphed to look sad. We then see a pink chameleon girl named Liza, being told that she's finally showing a preference for SPO over Valdez, and she says that she knew Valdez and SPO were best friends, apparently, so she thought he could reason with him, despite Valdez clearly being brainwashed. And yeah, best friends. That came out of nowhere, considering we've literally never seen him and Espio in the same room together until now. Valdez then has Lisa roboticized, being called a monster even though he's clearly just brainwashed, and Espio is told that if he doesn't tell Valdez where Knuckles is, as if he's supposed to always know that by heart, he'll roboticize all of the chameleons. This is interesting since, while I'm sure he'll say no, ninja honor in that, we don't really know him well enough to trust him yet. This issue was written by Ken Penders. What the Hunter put on his wall was messed up. I find it weird that they put that there. Though honestly, just like the Blood and Guns in the 13 arc, that's as much the artist's fault for agreeing to draw it like that, as Penders is assuming that Penders had control over what the artist would draw. I can understand the Hunter doing this though if the Overlanders really can be that racist against Mobians. They would honestly not be able to accept them as people and not mere animals just because they look like animals. This was certainly better than the previous issue. It was intriguing how the Hunter was able to inconvenience the Brotherhood, and I want to know how he knows about the Guardians and stuff, since apparently this is a world with no internet. But I think they could have done without that one panel. It was okay though, the whole story. The second story was the real meat of the issue, and that the intriguing revelation that Valdez may not have been 100% robbed of free will, and may have actually turned evil himself from being abandoned by his friends that we've seen show no actual friendship with each other. Thing is though, he's still roboticized, and Eggman said he was reprogramming him, even if not to the point of mindlessness, for practical purposes of allowing him to be a leader Kai. So as a result, it puts all of this into question. Maybe Valdez didn't really turn evil or buy any of Eggman's lies and is just brainwashed to the point of remembering incorrectly that he was like that before he had been turned into a robot. It's an interesting gray area. My problem with the story is the forced revelation that Valdez and Espio used to be best friends, when this arc is literally the first time we've ever seen them together, and Espio spends all his time with the Chaotix. And the revelation that this random Lisa chick is a good friend of both of them, as if we're really supposed to care about her. I know Espio has a whole chameleon village, but aside from him complaining in one issue that the chameleons complain about him having non-chameleon friends, that hasn't really been foreshadowed, Espio apparently having a whole other social life of chameleons that we're aware of, or at least a few close friends who are chameleons, because we've only seen him hanging around the Chaotix. That's it. Now, next issue is the final issue of the Knuckles comic. It really is a shame that it ended on this story arc. Not a good end. It would have been better off having the backup stories be in earlier issues and ending off on the date with Julie, kind of bookending it, but with better art for that story, of course. Oh well.